Hey guys, it is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024, and I'm back with some free VST plugins to help you with your musical adventures and endeavors. All right, guys, we are in the month of September 2024. The theme for this month will be free guitar plugins. So anything dealing with guitar. So guitar effects, guitar instruments, whether it's trying to really emulate the guitar and give you that realistic feeling, or if it's just guitar-centric, guitar-esque type plugins for guitar sounds that are more experimental, way out, different, but it's still based in guitars. So that's what we're doing for this month. So I have it structured where I have the instruments, some effects, and then of course we're going to go into the other segment for just free synths / instruments separate from the theme of the month. So that will be the structure for this month, September 2024. So let's jump right into it, guys. So the free plugins, guitar plugins for today are as follows. So first up here, we have Guitar Harmonics Essential, and this is from Steinberg. Very, very famous Steinberg. So Steinberg, if you guys don't know, they're the ones that developed the VST format. So without them, we wouldn't have VSTs. I mean, somebody would have filled the need, but they're the ones that own the trademark for VSTs. So here with this one, so as the name implies, it is just guitar harmonics, the harmonics of the guitar, the way the strings were played and recorded. They just recorded somebody playing the harmonics for each string, each note, the whole deal. Or that's what they're emulating. So let's say that's what they're emulating, but I'm assuming that's what they did. They actually recorded somebody doing that. So it's pretty much kind of one-dimensional to a certain degree. So you'll get the harmonics, and you can play with the attack and the decay to start to change the overall characteristic, the dynamic of how stuff is being played. More attack, less attack. If you increase speed, let's say slow down the attack speed, you're going to get more of a slower attack, less of that sharp transient at the beginning, and it'll have more of a legato pad type feel. And of course you can play with the decay for all of that stuff, how you want the release to be. And then they have delay and reverb built in, so you just crank these dials to change the type of delay you have as far as time signature, fourth triplets, half notes, all that stuff, quarter notes, eighth notes. And then the reverb, you dial in the size. I'm not sure if you could change the type of reverb because I haven't really messed with it, but from what I saw, dial in reverb. The cool thing is when you mess with the tone knob, move it over to cabin side, turn on the cabin feature, you can get some a bit of distortion and some nice rich tones and different textures out of the sound, along with just the harmonic tones, reverb, and delay. So this one is kind of cool. You can do interesting things with it. Like if you had two instances of it, you had one that was more ambient, legato with less attack, and then you add the other version playing the same exact chords with a lot more attack, plucky feel, hard transients of harmonics, guitar harmonics. But it's very interesting and somewhat versatile once you play around with attack and decay. And I'm sure there are presets there that have all these different criteria dialed in a specific way. So that's it for that one. Next up, we have Ample Guitar M2 Lite. Now, this one is definitely trying to emulate an acoustic guitar as best as they can. So with these type of plugins, they usually have the typical features. So you have the guitar scratch noise. You can mess with the body tone. You can mess with where you're actually strumming, closer to the hole, further from the hole. They have a capo you can put on there. Then they have a lot of different parameters that you could dial in to randomize when certain things happen that would be indicative of that guitar sound. So like that scratchy, screeching sound that you will hear when you're shifting chords and sliding against a string with your finger. Strum noise, you can dial in how much that guitar pick sound is. You can do like little body slaps, string slaps. So they have features like sustain, hammer-on, pull-offs, palm mute, popping, 5 different popping articulations. Like I said, capo logic is dialed in there. They actually have a mode where you can do stereo guitar, where it sounds like a doubled guitar. So you can switch it to stereo mode. They have a chord feature where you can play chords, the strummer, all that good stuff. So there's a lot that you can do once you get into the interface and understand how everything works based on how a realistic guitar works. Learn the interface and learn how to really master how to manipulate the features and the different settings, and you can actually get some convincing performances out of this, even if it's a solo acoustic type track. I've done it before, and also definitely mixed in a production with other instruments and orchestration. You can definitely get a lot done with this one, and it is 100% free. I'm hoping soon they'll do like an update with the interface, or maybe a newer version, because I know their newer paid ones, they look a little bit different. They've been updating certain things with it, so hopefully they do that with this. Show it a little bit of love for the free community. So that's from Ample Sound. So next up we have Ample Bass P Lite, once again from Ample Sound. And this one is basically everything I said about the last one. Pretty much just apply that to bass. So all the typical bass features, live bass features, realistic bass features, you're going to get here. So the auto buzz system, you can kind of dial in some kind of randomness of how that's happening, how often it's happening, when it happens. So it's not just happening every time with the same thing. Give you more of a realistic incidental feel. This one is being modeled off of the Fender Precision bass, and it has a very good tone to it. If you know what you're doing, once again, you can get this to sound very realistic, very convincing within your production, your composition. Of course, put the right effects on it, throw it through an amp if you need to, depending on what you're doing. And as long as you know how to actually play it in, learn the interface, and understand how bass is supposed to sound, you'll be able to do some very convincing things with this if you want to make it sound like a real bass player played it. Or you can go totally the opposite way, throw a bunch of crazy effects on it, and be creative, experimental. But this one is another good one that I've used, and I really enjoy what I get out of it. Very convincing stuff. Next up, we got the guitar effects. So first up, we have Cabin with a K from Analog Obsession. And this one is pretty much just a universal guitar cabin modeler. So we have speaker size that you can set, you can create, you can choose your speaker size, mic position. I guess it'd be cool if they had more of a visual thing with the mic position, but they don't. They have this knob here. And then there's a character knob, so you can dial in some kind of character. Pretty straightforward controls. This button here will turn the effect on and off. The Analog Obsession badge right here, you hit it, it should turn red. No, you know what? I don't think this one has. No, scratch that. It does not have oversampling. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward stuff. It's modeling a guitar cabin. So check that one out. Next up, again from Analog Obsession, we have Ahead. So this one is them kind of combining a lot of the effects that they had before. Back in the day, maybe 2-3 years ago, they had a bunch of guitar effects, kind of more like pedal stomp effects. So they kind of just jammed them all into this one interface, and you just select the different modes here, and then you'll dial in the basic tones. So it's just basically kind of like your stomp pedal effect type of effect. And they have, I think it says 4 different app models, different modes that they dialed in. It's not much to this one, but it definitely has a good rich sound. You select the amp type that you want, and you just dial in your basic settings here. 2 volume knobs, master, and then you have your bass, middle, treble. That's pretty much it. And like I said, here there's the on and off switch to enable and bypass the plugin. And I think this one also does not have oversampling. So next up we have, for the free synths / instruments, we have Hum 808X. So this one started out initially as Hum 808. The developer is Cali Beat, and then they made Hum 808X. I think they still have Hum 808, but Hum 808X took it to a whole nother level, and it's not just for 808s, even though the name says 808. It actually has a lot more synth sounds in there, and it makes sense because the interface is a synth interface with your oscillators. There are 2 oscillators, and then there's a bunch of filters and envelopes and modulation panels here, modules with the signal flow. You got your ADSR, all the typical stuff for a synth. So it doesn't just do 808s, but it does have great 808s in there. I've used it a couple of times for the 808s, and it's pretty stable. It gets the job done. And like I said, there are other synth sounds in there. So there's bass sounds, leads, all that good stuff. So definitely check out the presets. But this one is a good one to have. I like the interface. It's pretty straightforward, very intuitive. It is resizable. It's a fairly modern plugin. It might be 2.5 years old, maybe less. But this developer is one to keep looking out for because they make good stuff. So definitely check that out. And last up today, we have Kia Instrument. Now this one is the weirdest one on the list because it's from Kia Motors, the actual car company, which makes no sense. Just randomly, they came out the gate with this plugin. Initially, when they launched it, it had a different name, and it caused a bunch of controversy because I think there was another plugin that was releasing or released at that time with the same name, so they had to pull it down, and a couple of months passed and it popped back up as Kia Instrument. That wasn't the original name. I forgot what the original name was. They wiped it from the internet and wiped it from my memory. But this one is pretty straightforward. It's a very ambient, very atmospheric synth. So it's more for like pads. And along with the pads and the presets, they also have samples in there of location atmosphere. So if you're by like a pond and a creek, and the creek is running, that little creek running sound, they'll have that in there with like nature, just the sound of the wind, the air with the creek running. They also have like, you know, nature sounds like you're in the forest, you hear birds chirping randomly, stuff like that, and just the air. So you have the pad along with the ambient sound sample playing together with the different presets. And you can turn the ambient location samples off if you want and just rock with the pads, or vice versa. So I'm glad that they actually did do that. So right here it says wind, bird, beach, geyser. So, and then we have forest, water, thunder, night. So you can actually select those yourself and then mix it in with the pad how you see fit. Interface is cool, pretty straightforward. They got presets. It is resizable. Definitely check this one out. There are very specific applications for this, but like I said, you can turn the ambient nature sounds down and just use the synth by itself, or vice versa. So if you're looking for a nice ambient synth pad device, this will definitely give you some mileage, some good mileage. And that's it for today, guys. So check out the link in the description. It'll take you to this blog page where you can check out all the plugins that I just discussed, and you can click on the corresponding download links to download the plugins. Check them out, add them to your arsenal, see how it works out for you. All right, guys, also check out the link in the description for my video series on PC specs and how it relates to music production. If you're looking to understand how your DAW works along with your computer and its internal parts and internal specs to help you produce music effectively and smoothly without any hitches, glitches, pops, audio dropouts, or issues, check out that video. If you're looking to upgrade your setup, if you're looking to fix an issue or get your own setup for the first time, that video will give you some insight on what you need to pay attention to as far as your internal parts, your specs, how much RAM you need, why is RAM important, CPU cores, core speed, clock speed, RAM, GPU, why is that important? Why is that becoming more important now? All these different things, hard drive, storage, MIDI interface, audio interface. Help you understand how all these things work together. So check out the video. That'll give you some insight on where you need to spend your money so you can make an informed decision when you have to upgrade, update, or get your rig. So definitely check that out. Also, there is a link in the description for a growing playlist for these videos that I do twice a week. If you're looking for more free VST plugins, effects, utilities, there's over 300 videos there on that playlist. This video will be added to that playlist once the live stream is done. So it is a resource for you for free plugins, 100% free. Not you have to buy this to get this, not free for a limited time, so you got to chase it down. Just 100% free with little to no hassle to get them. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the video. Check back this week, Thursday? No, not Thursday. Friday or Saturday, I should be back for the second video for this month, themed with free VST plugins, guitar plugins, that is. So definitely check back for that, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, you'll see me in the next video.